drive me crazy. You're my Randy sailor boy. I say, I wanna be your sexy toy. You're my Randy sailor boy. Let's have fun and let's have joy. You're my Randy sailor boy. I said, let me be your sexy toy. You're my Randy sailor boy. Let me be your sexy toy. You're my Randy sailor boy. Let's have fun and let's have joy. I wanna be your sexy toy. You're my Randy sailor boy.
It's Ace Micheals. Today is another day to do what you achieve and dream to achieve. It's very important because if you see it, you can make it happen. I remember one weekend I was stuck in a hotel. Don't ask why. Anyway, and the only movie showing for that whole weekend was Rocky. The Rocky trilogy was showing over and over and over. It was a Rocky marathon, you understand? So I ended up watching Rocky all weekend. And I noticed one thing in every Rocky movie. What I noticed was that Rocky didn't believe he could win against whatever challenger he was going up against. But once he did convince himself, once he knew that he had a fighting chance, he won. He won. All he needed was the belief. The belief changes everything. So with that in mind, I brought someone on the show today who is definitely a true believer. She's also a true achiever. And that must mean she's a true conceiver, okay? True believer, true achiever, true conceiver, not to be used. Okay, now that we got the legal out of the way, welcome to the show for the first time, my guest, CHERIE LAURENT. Welcome to the show, bro.
Hi, Ace. How are you? And thank you very much for inviting you to the show. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward for that. So thank you very much.
It is all my pleasure. Now, you do a lot of different things. So before I jump into one of them, I'm going to let you explain all of them because I know some of them. I don't even know if I know most of them, but some of them I know. But go ahead and you tell us what you do.
Okay, that's a long story. So I am a writer, director, producer. I created a TV show which is worldwide. You could find it on Roku called Mashri TV. I produce a good number of films. Also, I'm an actress. I act in most of my films, plus other people's films. I'm a singer and a songwriter. I'm a fashion designer. I've been an influencer for a while. And also I'm a photographer and stylist, plus a graphic designer and a painter. I think that covered most of them.
So you know what I'm going to say to that is my feeling, CHERIE, is that there are different things I do too. I also do photography. I produce music. There are certain things I do that I do just strictly for passion. Those things I would do for free. I would actually even pay someone to let me do some of those things. But then there's other things I do like video editing that it's fun, but I better be paid. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to do that for
Yeah.
somebody else, they better pay me. Do you have hierarchies like that? Do you have certain things that you feel like, you know what? I love acting. I do it for free. I love it that much. But then there's other things I do well, but y'all better have a check. Better pay
You're
me.
right. You're right. I mean, number one, I think it's acting. I love acting. I love getting into a character, and I love to give 100% to this character and bring it real and life to life, and also singing, writing songs, and going through the procedure from writing the lyrics, going to the studio, putting all your emotion, all your heart in it, and then listening to it, and then release it to the public all around the world. That is a great, message that you could send to the universe. So I think those are my biggest thing. But if you think about it, as an actress, I mean, I studied acting most of my life. If you keep waiting for the right part to come around, you're going to be waiting for long. And that's what pushed me to write my own films and then act in them and then produce them. Yes, I don't like editing. You're right. It's hours and hours in front of the computer. But recently I found I've been getting bigger, well, my business and everything, and I have to let go with a lots of things to other people. And I found that there is something called being a perfectionist, and no one has the same passion as you do and have the same vision as you do. So when I work with a musician and composer on the studio, in my mind I have a vision of what the song should be like. The feeling comes in from my heart and what touch other people's soul. And I push to achieve that. And obviously you're dealing with other people that they don't share your vision, even they are very creative. So it's a battle to get there. It's the same thing with film, the same thing with editing. You go and watch if someone else edit your film and you know that you did this part is better than what they chosen. So in the end, you're gonna sit on the computer and redo the whole thing again because you're perfectionist and you have a vision. So how can you take yourself out of that? That's the question that I think I will be struggling with for a long time because I like things my way.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm learning if I go on someone else's set is to push my ego and everything I want as a director out the door and walk in as an actress and give chance to the director or the photographer of whoever I'm dealing with to take control of me. And that's a very strong thing to do, but you need to do as an actress or as a model or as anyone. Sometimes you have to let go, you know? I'm sure you've been there.
Have you ever, as we say, have you ever met a song you didn't like? Like, for example, is there some piece of the work that you know you're not going to accomplish the way that you want? It's not going to happen. So you have to just give in a bit and say, you know what? Okay, that scene's not the way I figured it was going to go, but that's the scene we got. So let's use it and keep moving. Or I could spend another 20 hours trying to get it right, but I'd rather just get it done and move on.
Thank you for this question. When I was younger, I didn't have any money, and I used to work with a musician who worked for free. They never charged me for their time,
Mhm.
and I give them the vision, I give them the lyrics, and they mix the music and they do it themselves. And then they call me, I go and listen to it. And I remember one time I was trying to talk to this musician, and he has a huge fit. He starts yelling and screaming at me. He mostly freaked me out that I'm not paying him. And I think the younger music I produced, it has my lyrics, but it doesn't have my influence in the music. Now I work with a studio where I pay for it, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. But I learned how to negotiate and how sometimes you could get your way by talking to them and try to be more diplomatic to get what you want. But I'm not going to let a song come out now if I don't feel 100% it's part of my soul. So the new album, it's all me, good and bad. It's all me. If I don't like it, I will just say, I'm not doing it. I'm not paying for that. I want piano. I want a guitar. I want this. I want this. And I don't play a lots of instrument. I only play little guitar, but I use my voice. So I go to the studio and I record all the melody with my voice. And I will say, this is the guitar, this is the electric guitar, this is the piano, this is the harmonica. And by the end, I get what I want. But it's also a struggle. But everything is good struggle, you know?
Yeah. And speaking of struggle, I want to ask you, I'm going to say a term and you tell me your definition of what this term means. I'm going to call it pretty woman problems.
Yes. It's
I love the
um,
eyeball roll. Yes.
it's difficult. It's really difficult because this is a man's world. And
So pretty
as
woman problem, that's a thing. That's a real thing. You're saying
yeah,
that that is
yeah.
an actual thing.
I mean, you know, you could talk to my management and like last time I talked to someone very big, I don't mention names, and he gave me a song to sing. And I went to the studio on Sunday. I paid extra money. I recorded the song. I edited. I wanted to be the first one to put it in front of him because I really wanted to work with this person. So after he listened to the song and he said, "That's interesting," I was like, "Thank you." I put my heart in it. And then he said, "So do you have a nude photos for me to look at? Or
I'm
you
not. I'm
sign?"
not. I'm
Yeah,
not
and you
laughing
go,
because it's funny. No, no.
no, that's imagine. So that also pushed me how to deal with things. Like I have a meeting with Zoom with a Hollywood director, and he said, "I want you to this part," and we talked about the part, and we signed like a verbal agreement. And I was mostly the second lead in the film, and I wake up in the morning really happy seeing a message from him on Facebook, and he was nude touching himself in the shower. So imagine you open your eyes looking for a script, and all what you get is this.
Right.
And it's shocking because with all the No and Me Too movement and Weinstein and all this, it's never stopped. And you just have to basically learn, as my two management said, you're going to get this all the time. Look at you, you're going to get this. So you need to basically learn how to deal with it. And you don't have to be angry or upset or badmouth them, or, you know, you just have to find a way to get out of it as soon as possible and just say, I'm sorry, I'm tired, I have to go to sleep, bye, and just cut it off or block them immediately, and try not to make it affect you mentally, because a lot of it really drain any woman and any artist. It's draining. But I guess I have to be thinking about the positive side, that they find me attractive and I'm getting offered. I just have to be more smart how to deal with it.
Yeah,
And
and I
now I
want
have the
to
two
say,
managers, so they all deal with it themselves.
it goes on both sides of the aisles too, because if it weren't for bad production experiences that I had hiring other people early in my career, I would have never committed to become a producer myself. That's
Yeah,
why I said, you know what? If I'm going to get this terrible result, I might as well do it myself. And at least I know I did the best I could, even if it's terrible, you know. But I want to give kudos to you because I remember the very first time we connected, I was looking at your photographs. Your photographs are very classy. And I always say class never goes out of style. You know, I don't want to use the word sad. That's kind of a big word, but I'm going to use it. It's kind of sad to me when I see beautiful girls posting on Instagram. And it's like, honey, there's no art to this. Like this photography used to be an art form, you know?
yeah.
And singing, music used to be an art form. You couldn't just auto tune and throw any beat behind just anybody and make a record, you know. But what are your thoughts on that? Because you're a professional. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on the industry
I,
today versus the industry 3 years ago, 5 years ago?
I think it's going back to my culture, and I think it's going back to the essence of being beautiful woman. I came and I believed in sensuality. I still think of my mom always say, you know, tease but never please. Don't look cheap. Let men respect you. You could look very beautiful and classy in your photos, but then we do have Kim Kardashian and Nicki Minaj, and you see those music videos, and even like someone amazing. I mean, I really love J-Lo, and I was watching her music video, and the way she danced, some of the moves was like, you're worth millions of dollars. Why do you need to do that?
Right.
Um, let's maybe leave it for a cheap girl on a strip, in a strip joint, you know. But when you get to the certain level, you need to present yourself in a classier way. You could do a bikini shot. I did lingerie shot, but you could see the difference between Victoria's Secret, how they do their shots, and between page three in a cheap magazine. There's a difference. And I always, I remember when I started my TV show, the woman that owned the TV station, and she's in her 90s and she still works. She made 2,000 episodes of her show.
Wow.
And I was embarrassed because I was making a lot of full series about men and women sexual fantasy. And she came to me and she said, Cherie, I love your show. I watch every episode. You're very sensual, you're very respectful. And even when you talk about sexual things, you put them in a really beautiful way, not offensive.
Mhm.
And that's why I gain a lot of respect of so many people deal with me in the industry. And I could feel that when I go out, you know, I have a lot of respect. Yes, I do get things from America now, you know, those kind of videos and those kind of offers. And that's what worry me about what's going to be like when I get to Hollywood. But if you hold on to your ground
Mhm.
and push art and sensuality and class, I think you could go all the way. It's like now when I look at Kim Kardashian on her Instagram, she's always standing there with her G-string. What else? What left? I mean, you've done porn, you've done, you show it all. How
Yeah.
are you going to survive for the next stage? I mean, you don't need to survive. You're worth $2 billion. But as an artist, you need to think of a long term.
Mhm.
And if you sold everything so cheap, so fast, what left?
Right.
So I like to keep, you know, the mystery. And I always talk to all those directors, even now when I get offers of film. I don't mind doing a sex scene as long as it is respectful, not fully nude, sensual, and is big part of the story. I'm not interested of doing just pornographic, cheap scene that this, you know, makes
Mhm.
me don't want to show it to my mom and my family. No, I want to be able to show it and they will look at it and they will be, that's okay. That's my style. So hopefully it will be always the same.
Yeah. And I think it's important because you are a sexy woman. Sensuality and sexuality are two very different things. Most anybody can be sexual. Yeah,
Exactly.
this is my opinion. Most anybody can be sexual. Sexual is just the primitive, primal urge to explore your body. That's sexuality. But sensuality is knowing what not to do. It's knowing what not to show, knowing what to leave to the imagination. Your thoughts?
I think it's very, very important is like for me is sensuality and sexuality both all in the eyes. You know, eyes are very important. And the way you hold yourself, the way you are proud of who you are, the way your charisma, all these are very sexy and very sensual. I go out when I used to always go out. Now I don't go out because I work all the time. And I wear very elegant dress and I go to a club and I sit and sip on a champagne glass and I really respect myself. And you have no idea how many men come one after one after one. It's like the whole night with no stop. And they
Right.
just want to talk to me. And then I see other girls jump on the tables and they show too much and they act in a very inappropriate way. And I was thinking, why you are cheaping up yourself? Because I don't think men will like that, and I don't think men will respect that, and I don't think men gonna treat you like with respect. So in the end, what do you want? Do you want to be respected and you know
Mhm.
look sexy and look sensual, or you want to be just cheaply treated? So it's a woman's choice, I think, and that's why I always encourage the other side. It's like if you watch all my music videos, yes, I dress sexy. I could do all of it with my eyes. I don't need to wear a G-string and bend in front of the camera and do that. Why do I need to do that? I mean, I could look sexy without it. So maybe it's different for other people. They feel they need to do that. It's their choice, but that's my choice.
Yeah. And you've written some great songs. You know, you've got a new song that's coming out. You just released this video. Do you ever write a song and think, well, I don't want to say too much about Me Too movement because I don't really want that. That may be my personal belief, but I don't want that in my song. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you ever, like when you're shooting the music video, do you say, you know what? Some girls might dress like this, but Cherie does not. So I need to make sure that I distinguish me from what's going to sell for other people.
Yeah, it's like I just did a movie called Free Me From You, and it's about the main thing about the movie is about putting light on violence against women.
Mm,
Because in Australia, there is two women get killed every week by their partners. And I've been in past in a very abusive relationship. So I made a movie to tell my story because the abuse could be a physical, emotional, mental. It's not only punching, but you know, there's
mm,
different type of abuse. So during the movie, there was a sex scene, and I normally work with a little budget. And when I saw those footage, the original footage looks like a cheap home porn. And although it was all acting, all pulling faces, but I wasn't happy with that. So the way I did is the way I edited, I changed it completely and made it like very sensual love making clip. And
mhm.
that's what I do with my work, with my songs. So I I mean, we all men and women is going to be the same story forever, you know. But there's more issues important that I'm talking about. And I write two type of songs. I write songs for fun. I call it gilly songs, like Size Queen or Oi Randy Sailor Boys or Lover. It's a song when you let go and go on the dance floor and have fun and just have a great time. And that's one side of me. And then the other side is a song that you want to say something. It's like Down on Me, which about the Black Lives Matter and it's about equality.
Mhm.
And those type of songs is more serious song. And I have a message and I want to reach something and fight for something. And that's completely different type. That's more fiery. And then I have the ballad song, which is emotionally and love and mostly it's like about relationship and it's all part of big film and story I'm making. So it depends which mood and it depends which song and how to show yourself. And as I say, I had footage that looks like a home porn. I edited and I made it look like a beautiful, sensual lovemaking scene that it's not X-rated. It looks really beautiful. And I could do the same thing with the music video. I mean, if you watch the original footage, maybe it's a little bit up for me. I don't want this to be on TV. But if I take it and change it to black and white and put a lots of filters and make it like a black and white photography in a museum, I'm happy to show this to public and I'm proud of it. So it's a procedure. And how you want to show yourself in public, it's um, it's your decision. And I chosen this side. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like sexuality cheapens a film? Like sometimes I'm gonna pick on HBO. Sometimes I'm watching HBO and a movie's pretty good in the first 7-10 minutes. I'm actually captured by the story, and then lo and behold, there's a sex scene, and I wonder, did they put this intentionally at the 10-minute mark because they want to make sure that people are going to stay interested and not scan to another channel? Do you ever feel that sexuality cheapens a project?
I I feel extremely about this. It's like I don't watch HBO. We don't have HBO in Australia, but I watch Netflix all the time.
Mhm.
And Netflix is it seems like they hire the same type of directors. Even
Right.
the,
Right.
even the sex scene, and it's no offense, but I think those directors are mostly gay guys, and they're always the sex scene. It's always missionary, and it's always showing the guy's butt from the back, and the
Mm.
woman is underneath, and he's going up and down, and the camera on his ass. Sorry. And you think, what the hell? I was like, they talk in 2 minutes, and sex scene is 15 minutes. Why
Right.
even this deal? There's no reason for it. There was a series called Outlander, and I really loved the series at the beginning. And then later on, it's like, good morning, 5 minutes sex scene.
Yeah.
Hello, 5 minutes sex scene. It was
Yes.
like, I
Yes.
have enough of that. It's like, why I have to see this over and over and over? There's no need for it. It's not in the script, but they're using it over in all their series. And good that with Netflix you have a remote control, because I just
Right.
forward to get over it. And I think really it's cheapened, and it's not necessarily. And it's good when you are taking a moment of love. Like in my film, um, the girl, she picked up a guy from a club for one night stand. She liked him. She took him home. He started getting aggressive and violent, about to kill her. And then she found herself in a place that she has to have sex with him because she's so scared of him that he's going to murder her. So the sex scene was a mix between her, her really scared and doing it because she want to save her life. So there was a reason for this sex scene, and still I made it. She kept kissing him, trying to get to his heart to make him stop stabbing her by the end of it. So
Yeah.
there was a reason for this sex scene. That wasn't just put because I wanted a sex scene. No, I put it for to hold the psychology struggle behind this moment, what she went through, because you are sleeping with someone that you think the moment he's going to get to the end, he's going to kill you. So you try to make him change his mind. And you don't like him, you're scared of him, but you still did it. So there was a reason for that. But then you watch Netflix, and every 5 seconds they jump on each other's whatever. And it's always shot in the same way. It's like, don't you think people have different positions? Like always the same thing. It's always showing the male body more than the female body.
Yeah.
And I think it's just they're using the same directors all the time, and all what their intention is, some gay producer or director want to look at this male, straight male actor's body while he's in action. And that's how I think why they're doing it this way. But maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
Well, I was curious. I do have some thoughts on, but I want to make sure we don't run out of time before I ask you this question. Do you feel that female directors are more responsible with sexuality in film?
I could tell immediately on a scene if it's being directed by a female or it's directed by a male. And I say that because I am a director and I have a lots of sensual scene. And when I go out, sorry, a lot of women, excuse me, a lot of women came to me and they said, I love how you showed this love scene. It's very sensual. It's very beautiful. Concentrate more about love making more than sex making. Where if you see a directors, male directors, they're more about the action,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is from
Yeah.
from male point of view. It's like when I don't do it now anymore, but I have to study some porn, and they never kiss in porns. But then you find the porns that's been directed by a female, there's a lots of kissing and holding and touching, and it's more lovemaking. And then you could tell the difference immediately, how women produce sex or look at sex in films, and how men show sex in films. It's the same thing about how I show women in my show and how men show women in their show. They show it as a sex object. I show women as a goddess and beauty and something from mythical character in a film that you think about like, wow, how beautiful is that? And make her look like a goddess. Where men, they try to make her look more like a stripper in a dark alley. This is what turn on men fantasy. And I know that because my series was called Forbidden Love. It's all about men and women's sexual fantasies. So I studied a lot about sexuality and read a lot of books, and it's amazing how different it is. Yeah.
Would you say this is a look at our society as a whole? I mean, we've gotten desensitized to war, desensitized to school shootings, to church shootings. Of course, porn makes us desensitized to sexuality. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm not sure if you say desensitized, because I am very emotional person. When I see this shooting on the TV, I cry and I get really depressed when I see films on war and I see someone in suffering. It's funny because I am a writer and I keep telling myself, this is a movie, for God's sake, stop crying. And
Mhm.
they're acting, but I still feel it and I still have emotion that it's not good, it's not right. How could they do that? There was a movie about, I just watched 2 days ago, it's on Netflix, I don't know the name, but it's about a little black child in Africa during the Civil War. And he lost all his family and he got gone to the black, tribe that go and kill everybody. And how he becomes numb of killing everybody in front of him. So I was watching this movie and I was feeling every feel that this child felt at that moment. So I don't think, do you think people desensitized? I wish not. Um,
Mhm.
no, I'm not. I don't think if people do, I think that's a very, very hard and sad way that humanity could get into it because we're all human. And in my show, I always just try to talk to the soul of whoever watch me. It's a message, and try to remind them of their humanity. And it's about compassion and kindness and love and care. And think of the good things in life, and think of messages and angels appear to your life when you are in a bad time. Because if this person who took a gun and shot people in a shopping center or school, he believed and have faith and the goodness in people and the goodness in life, he will never do that. And the reason we are getting all this because people losing faith of something good. And it's shocking because after 2 years of Corona and seeing what happened, you think people are going to be more kind to each other, more loving to each other. They realize life is just nothing. It could disappear in any time. Be kind, be loving, be caring. But unfortunately, we came up more aggressive and more angry and more war and more shooting and more rebellion. And it's sad to see that. So what I tried in my show, because I have a platform and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, if I could talk to the human part of any man and woman as a human being. And if you do that in your show, if anybody of us who has a platform try to reach to put a message of faith and acceptance and kindness and compassion, understanding, maybe we could make a difference because no one want to see what's going on now. Don't you agree with me?
Yep, absolutely. Cherie, I could talk to you all day. You're a wonderful conversationalist, and I love speaking with you. But then I'd run out of time. So we got about a minute left. How do we reach you on social media if we want to follow you now?
Well, I would like to invite you all around the world to watch my TV show, Macherie, which is Macherie TV on Roku TV or on Amazon Fire TV in your own home. Also, you could visit my website, masherietv.com. All the series is there, all the song is there, all the film is there. My Instagram is CHERIE LAURENT, which is the one with the blue tick. And also tomorrow I have the song Lover being released. This is the first release in Australia. You could hear it and watch it on Spotify and YouTube. And if you keep in touch, there will be a song after song after song. I have a Vimeo channel, Mashri TV show, and I've got YouTube channel. Please subscribe and be in touch with me all the time. And thank you very much for this beautiful opportunity to reach to your audience and talk to you. And we have a great conversation. Thank you.
It is my pleasure. Cherie Laurent on the show today. Thank you guys very much. You know what I say, and I believe it. Live the life you love the life you live. Thank you.